On this episode of the Star Wars Time Show, Nick and I will be talking about some radical-looking concept art for Vader Immortal Episode 2. We're also going to be diving into this bitchin' new book coming out later this year that's going to take Star Wars legends and kind of turn them into fables, old school style. We're also going to dive into the new Star Wars retro collection from Hasbro. And, of course, it wouldn't be the Monday show without the top 5 Star Wars artist features of the week. Cue the music. Everyone, welcome back to the Star Wars Time Show. That's right, it's Matt and Nick, and it's time for the Monday version of our special sauce. So as you heard from the announcer, it's a light week. I mean, it has been fairly dark in terms of interesting news for Star Wars. That could be anything, new projects, new insights into existing projects, and of course, TROS. I mean, that's really what is on my radar. I want to know what happens in 9. But anyways, we still dug up a few things to talk about and some interesting things that diehards may get into. And of course, we got the top 5. So, Nick, let's get into this concept art that came out for a game that you and I should probably play based on feedback I've heard. And I don't know if you sampled it at Celebration, but we did get some new concept art for Vader Immortal, which is the VR game for the Oculus, was it Go or Quest or something like that?
The Oculus Quest, yes.
There we go.
Yes.
But the second episode, I guess they're starting to tease, and the concept art in it is radical, to say the least, Nick. I mean, you got a shot of Vader here. And I read the article. It's basically, in this episode, he's going to train you in the ways of the Force. Where in the first episode of the game, the VR beats were all about, using a lightsaber, this, that, and the other thing. Now you're going to learn how to use the Force, Vader style, which is explained as kind of frenetic, but a controlled chaos. And we also got another shot in here, Nick, of this character introduced in episode 1, the Black Bishop, who's someone that it seems Vader is in communication with and maybe plotting something, knowing Vader, probably something against the Emperor. Yeah,
exactly. I mean, from what I can gather, I was unable to play Vader Immortal at Celebration. The line was way too long. I'm one of those people who's like not completely sold on VR yet. Like I'm not. I've tried it a couple times, got like a little motion sickness with it, but this was like earlier VR, not kind of the more refined one that we see now in 2019. But this, like you said, Matt, the buzz around this game from episode 1 is super positive. There's a lot of good, new concepts being explored here. Like you said, this new character, the Black Bishop, that Vader is in communication with. And this piece of art that we got coming out of, the episode 2 announcement that features the Black Bishop is absolutely stunning. I mean, I look at this and it looks like a Sith tomb, maybe, the way that it's, it's cutting up.
Yeah.
I mean,
the art's fantastic. I mean, if anything, that should show you the quality of this VR project. And Nick's right. Early on, VR is kind of wonky, but it's gotten pretty damn good. I mean, I'm pulling up prices right now for a Quest. And it looks for the low storage model, the 64 gigger, we could get one for $399 out the door, and then obviously whatever Vader Immortal costs. But I mean, again, the Quest is nothing; it's all built in. Well, hell, it's only $10 for the game, so for $410 out the door, buddy, we can start playing this.
Yeah. I mean, it could definitely
look at the third review down, 1 star. What a ripoff!
That's internet people for you.
I mean, the reviews even on the Oculus site it's out of almost 2,000 ratings, it's a 4.5 stars. So
yeah. So I mean, that's kind of what I was looking for. I know, Matt, you jumped into the VR scene a little earlier with me, specifically.
I've got the PlayStation VR. I had the shit you strap on your head that's foam and you jam a phone into it. I don't nearly play it like I used to, just as expected, as predicted by most people. The software still, there's not enough Vader Immortals is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we run into that with, other like super big name companies like Sony putting out handheld games or handheld consoles and they don't put out good games for it. Now we see the same thing with VR, and VR is a completely new exploration into home video gaming. I mean, prior to, this recent wave of VR, the only place you could play it was if you were, one, super rich, or two, if you visited malls that had VR simulators in them. So I'm kind of, the Oculus Quest does have me kind of interested because it is, like you said, completely wireless. You're not plugged into a console. You're not plugged into a computer.
That's what speaks to me more than anything. One of the biggest reasons I don't use the PSVR, which is fucking badass, by the way, for the PlayStation and a relatively affordable price. I mean, if anything, if I could stand wearing that damn thing on my head for extended periods of time, just using the PlayStation VR to watch TV or a movie, I mean, it's essentially, Nick, I don't know if you've tried that, but it's as if you're in your own movie theater sitting in the third or fourth row with a 100-foot screen in front of your face.
Yeah, that sounds pretty nice.
It's bad. I mean, it is badass. I mean, watching TV or sports in it's badass, but it's just wearing that damn headset for hours at a time. So, but it's I think the Quest is getting closer and closer to something that people could, suffer through longer sessions in VR, if you will, or just being entertained in virtual reality. And I don't even need to play games. I just need to be entertained because it is a pretty damn cool concept when done right, as Vader Immortal is and as it's looking to be in the second episode.
Yeah, I mean, we've already gotten confirmation that this is going to be a certain number of episodes. I just can't remember off the top of my head.
I'm guessing 5. It sounds good.
Yeah, let's do some internet research.
Yeah.
We're on the internet here, but that's what I'm interested in. So if we're gonna get like you said, a 5-episode series, maybe we get like $100 reduction or a bundle. If they throw together a bundle, hey, get all 5 episodes of Vader Immortal, and then also get whatever. Also get your your Quest for free, for $350. I probably,
dude. At this point, I mean, if you want to do the weight game and sweeten the pot, I think it would be buy Quest, get Vader Immortal free.
Yeah.
So just throw down your $399 for the 64 gig or whatever for the 128, and then you get all episodes of Vader. Yeah, I mean that would move me a bit. I just, in general, gaming to me is kind of taking a backseat to other shit. Being a dad, toy photography. Fucking wasting time. I mean, I can't tell you how much time I just get lost in my own head the older I get. Just turned 39 fucking yesterday. So it's like, indeed. I don't know if I'm already experiencing dementia or what, but sometimes I just sit there and I'm like, what am I doing?
Yeah, man. I mean, you're snipping up on 40. I'm going to be 31.
It's like I can watch paint dry at this point in life already, and that's entertaining to me, I guess. But gaming has taken a severe backseat, and it depresses me, especially for an experience like this. I mean, Matt 2 years ago would have already went out and bought the Quest, probably never use it again outside to play Vader Immortal, but it's just not there. It's like that's why I never bought that. What was the one we were talking about? It's all discounted now. They're selling it at Best Buy.
Oh, it was the I have it, the Jedi.
Yeah, you ended up buying it when
it.
they reduced it, the lightsaber training one.
Yeah, I still haven't played it either. In fact, when I bought it, we were in a smaller apartment. We moved into a bigger apartment, and I'm like, the first weekend we moved in, I'm like, all right, I got to play it. I got bigger, I got a bigger living room. I got more room to move about. Still have not turned that motherfucker on. I need to because it looks so cool, and I'm more interested in augmented reality than I am in virtual reality than VR.
Yeah.
So I really do. It's literally just still in the box, sitting there. I've opened it up. I've picked up the lightsaber because it comes with, a plastic version of the Skywalker
a little bit, stroked it, put it back in the box.
That's about it. Again. So. I mean, I'm super interested by Vader Immortal because it's centered around the character that Matt and I have talked about wanting more story content around forever. It's centered around Vader. And it's put us in this interesting time period between episodes 3 and 4, right where we wanted to learn more. And now,
it sounds kind of Force Unleashed-ish too.
Yeah,
because Vader is essentially training a no-name apprentice, which is you, but you're watching Vader also kind of doing his Sith scheming from the crevices of wherever you're training with them.
Yeah, so
I mean, you're almost sneaking around and shit and spying on Vader himself. Just you can't trust anyone that likes the dark side, right? They're all a bunch of shady assholes.
Exactly. Everybody's trying to kill everybody else. You can't trust anybody. Don't turn your back because you might be end up with a lightsaber in it. So, but yeah, I mean, I'm interested. I don't know if I'm interested enough to drop $400 on the headset, but this Black Bishop character is definitely, drawing me in a little bit. Is this like a force? Is this a Sith Force ghost that he's communing with? Is this a dark side disciple that he's communing with out there to try to scheme, like you said, against Palpatine? Maybe. Lots of cool things could be coming here. If anybody listening has played Vader Immortal, I know that one of our loyal listeners, one of our Instagram followers, worked on Vader Immortal. Very impressive stuff there. We may need to get some more information on the game from you, sir. But yeah, I mean, it's a very interesting project considering the complete and utter lack of Star Wars video games that have thus come out from EA. So.
It's coming, man. Fallen Jedi. It's going to be here before you know it.
Oh, yeah. I know. I'm ready.
We're getting there. We're getting there. We might have a big boy Star Wars game soon. So
I know.
Well, moving on to the next story here. And this one I kind of found that is kind of interesting. And it falls in line with some of the stuff Nick and I have kind of niched ourselves into with Star Wars art. Now, this is art where people are getting paid to create it. And what we're talking about here is a new book that's coming up. I actually looked. It'll be releasing August 6th. So in about a week's time. It's called Star Wars Myths and Fables, and it's written by George Mann. But the reason that I put it out on StarWarsTime.net wasn't because of the book. I mean, we all know, if you've been listening, Nick and I can't read. Reading has never been fundamental for Star Wars Time. If it doesn't have moving pictures or animated images, for some reason we can't handle it. But what I wanted to share for was the artwork, which is from Grant Griffin. And StarWars.com previewed three of the pieces plus the cover. And Nick, this shit is... The book's going to be worth buying just for the art alone. And there's a shot of Vader. So just quick setup here. What this book is going to do, it's 192 pages. It's going to tell stories, essentially Star Wars stories that we know about, but they're going to be cast as fairy tales and legends that have been passed down from one generation to the next and from system to system. So as we know in our own society, how legends have passed down, everyone's heard about Jonah and the whale and this, that, and the other thing. I mean, I guess if you're religious, you believe this shit actually happens. That, good for you. Those, to me, are basically fables and fairy tales where things kind of get grandized, and you get all this grandiose shit going on, and what was once a simple tale is turned into this tall tale. And that's what they're doing with Star Wars stories. So that the imagery here cast Darth Vader, it's like he looks like a fucking like a devil, like some sort of demon.
Yeah, like he almost looks like if you could picture like the badass, like the four horsemen of the apocalypse. Like, I imagine that this is what death would look like.
Yeah,
this dude is,
it's like his one hand is just a light beam, and it's like he's shooting a lightsaber out of his hand as if that's his force lightning. It's just Grant's work here it's insane. I mean, I know these are illustrations, but to me they almost look like they're watercolor. I mean, there's no real hard edges in these pieces.
Yep.
There's another one of a Jedi, but the Jedi he has a shield, and he's kind of wearing a chainmail, like
walking on clouds.
Right, an actual knight would be. In this another one with this little girl. I don't know if that's supposed to be Leia. I mean, the background kind of looks Naboo-ish.
Yeah.
I don't know, but I know I like this art. And the book, here's where I get a little suspect about this book. And who knows, maybe it's just a fucking deal. But it's 192 pages.
Yep.
So it's a decent sized book, and it's only selling for like $12 and change.
Yeah. I mean, Kindle version $11, hardcover Amazon Prime version $12.59.
Right.
And
do they have a dimensions listed there? I mean, maybe it's like a fucking flip book or something tiny.
Yeah. Let me see if they grade level 3 to 7, age range 8 to 12. So I mean, it's product dimensions 7.0 6.4 inches wide by 9.3 inches tall.
Oh yeah, it's tiny. Yeah, it's like a kid's book then.
Yeah. So
well, it's a pretty fucking creepy kid's book because that image is powerful of Vader. I mean that's probably nothing I'd want to show a real little kid. I mean, my kid's already fucked up because she's been watching PG-13 movies since she was 2. So I'd probably show it to her. But yeah, it's a fairy tale book.
Yeah, I mean,
age level 8 to 12, man. That's I don't know. That's some intense art.
I know.
I guess 8 to 12 would work.
This Vader artwork, I mean, like you can, aside from like the saber coming out of his hand, it looks like he's like his whole chest is skeletal.
Oh yeah,
like
it's almost like a xenomorph upper body. Like he looks like an alien from Aliens.
Yeah, I mean it's an incredible piece of art.
Different. I mean, it's very German shock trooper. I mean, it's fucking badass.
Yeah, I mean this book may be worth purchasing alone just for Grant Griffin's artwork.
Yeah, I just want the fucking image, like a big version of that Vader. I mean, that Vader. There's another tattoo idea right there.
Yeah. I mean, that would be one. I would like to see the tattoo artist who could pull that off because this is incredible. Like you said, it's incredible work. And what's really impressive about it is like the brush stroke. Like you can see the brush strokes. It's not a very, well shaped. I mean, it's well shapen, but it's not. It has no hard edges, like you mentioned. So yeah, I mean,
he mentions. I didn't quote this because I'm not a journalist. I'm just a hack. But in the StarWars.com piece, Grant says that. The Vader piece we're talking about, he calls it it's the boogeyman version of Vader.
Yeah, this is the version that like if you can imagine, if you've ever played the telephone game or if you've ever, like Matt said, kind of heard tales that have been passed down through oral tradition, like this is what would happen to Darth Vader if it's been passed down like generation over generation, or if it's been told from person to person to person, and all of a sudden, you're on your 100th retelling of this. That's what happens to these characters, that they take on larger than life characteristics, and Vader is already a larger than life kind of guy anyway. Right. So
like he's just in this world and this fantasy book and this legend, Darth Vader has become the all-encompassing boogeyman.
Yeah,
we all heard about one when we were a little kid. You probably had different imagery of what your boogeyman looked like. For some reason, mine was always green because of boogie.
Yeah.
I'm not kidding. I associated boogies with the boogeyman. Don't know why.
He's
That's
coming
just what
to
my
steal
little
your
warped head did. And then the Jedi we're talking about, he's going to be kind of the good Samaritan character of a fable, and we've all heard those stories too. So
yeah.
It's a cool project. I guess I didn't dive that far in to realize it's for little kids. I was just taken aback by the artwork. I mean, the artwork does not scream 8 to 12-year-old. But fuck it.
Yeah, I mean, if you guys
it for Charlie, if anything else.
Yeah, I would say if you guys want to get your hands on this, you can do the pre-orders now through Amazon. Like Matt said, hardcover Prime delivery, only $12.59 now. The book releases on August 6th, so it's pretty close, only a week away. So yeah, hop on Amazon. We have it linked in our post on StarWarsTime.net. So click on over there, drop it in your cart, and get this book on the day it releases. Looks pretty fun. If you do pick it up for Charlie, let me know. Like, read some of that shit and just let me know what it's like, because it seems pretty badass.
I'm hoping there'll be a physical copy somewhere at a Barnes. I'll at least go in and paw it up and see what it feels like in my hands, if it warrants a purchase or not. But
oh yeah, Barnes and
the art, like I said, hey Grant, if you got prints out there, buddy, hit us up, Matt@StarWarsTime.net. You won't forget it, because there's always time for Star Wars time.
Beautiful stuff.
All right, so as we roll on with the dull topics of this week, I mean, Nick, I'm almost putting myself to sleep talking about some of this shit. So we'll try to spice it up. At least we got to top 5 comments, so stick around for that. My man, Everything Kylo sent me the Disney exclusive. Got those. They showed up on my birthday, so that was pretty rad.
Beautiful.
But before we get into that fun stuff, we are going to get into some toys. And toys I've actually seen pictures of. I mean, Hasbro kind of gave these to a few of the influencers early, and by that I mean Plastic Action, Work More or Less, Swit Picks, Black Series, Nose Rain. Yeah. Those are your main Hasbro influencers at this point in time. There's no doubt about it. And if I forgot anybody, I'm sorry. I don't know if that. Yeah, 1/6 shooter. He's still 1/6 guy, so he doesn't do much for Hasbro, but those guys do. But anyways, Nick, they're rolling out this retro collection, and I guess they're trying to kind of pull on the heartstrings of my generation of Star Wars fan. I mean, and that would be kind of the 70s, pre-70s, and then if you're a kid like born in 80, you probably had some of the original Kenner action figures. Well, what Hasbro is doing is they're rolling out a retro collection, and the first wave features 6 figures, and they are styled just like the Kenner figures of old. So what does that mean? It means they look basic as fuck, or what we like to call baff.
Oh man,
I mean, dude, look at the shit that I had to play with as a little kid. It's amazing that I even have any imagination, or maybe that's why I do have an imagination, because I was left to diddle around with these things.
It looks like, some of these figures are definitely rough. If you look at the lightsaber,
right out of the hands, that was my favorite part. Look at Vader's cape. That is a fucking pimp ass cape.
That is, dude. That
Look
almost
at that
looks
shit.
like Neo's jacket in the Matrix.
It's just like an arbitrarily cut piece of vinyl that they slap on this thing.
Yeah, they just threw over his arms. I mean, some of this shit looks incredibly ridiculous. Like, Han Solo looks absolutely terrible. Like, it doesn't even look like Han Solo, not even the hair. Like, it's so weird.
Hey, that's what you got back in the 70s when they were making toys, dude. That's why it's so amazing to think that, okay, yes, these are goofy looking. But today's 3.75-inch figures, if you look at those, you go, what in the hell?
Yeah.
Like, were the 70s really that far back in time?
Yeah, man.
I mean, has humanity advanced that much that this is what my toys looked like? Yes, the answer is yes, people.
Yeah, we saw a 3.75-inch in the top 5 a couple of weeks ago, and it looked like we were looking at a real representation of C-3PO and R2-D2. So
I essentially grew up in the dark ages.
Yeah. This
toys.
Is like,
literally.
It's amazing to me that they could get a head sculpt of Vader that looked like that in the 70s. That's kind of close.
Oh, Vader is probably the best, and then I would have to say Leia, or maybe the Stormtrooper. But he looks the Stormtrooper looks like if someone some fat ass sat on his face.
I was gonna say his head looks so much bigger.
Right.
Oh man, and then Chewie, of course, it's gonna be hard to do a Chewie if you're not using any sort of fur. Or realistic,
just scale. He's the same size as everybody. So this Chewbacca looks like Chewie's inbred brother, Chewbacca. You know what I mean?
Oh man!
Like, this is one where maybe some weird stuff was going on in Chewie's family.
Yeah, this is definitely
little inbreeding took place there on Kashyyyk.
Yeah, you never know what could happen when your planet's under Imperial occupation.
Right.
But yeah,
sisters may get close. You never know.
It's a crazy. These do look hilarious though, and what
this is like Luke when he was in his "I'm gonna dye my hair" phase, as most teenage boys do.
Yeah, and he dyes it highlighter yellow, not like blonde.
Right. He didn't even go platinum. He just went for piss yellow.
Yeah. What's incredible to me is, and I know that these are a nostalgic piece. People who grew up in this, in the 70s with the official Kenner toys are looking at these and are like, man, this is fantastic. But this is a 3.75-inch figure set. So you get Vader, Luke, Stormtrooper, Leia, Chewbacca, and Han Solo.
Yeah, all A New Hope appearances.
$64. That seems high. That seems like a lot.
About $10 a figure.
Yeah, I don't know. I look at this and this doesn't scream $10. I don't know, man.
It is. Well, they're 100% playing on the nostalgia factor. You're for damn sure. If I saw these in the wild, I would not be able to resist them.
Oh yeah,
I'm struggling just resisting them online.
Yeah, Oh man.
And I get it, dude. I get it. They're ridiculous, but there's something in me that just says I have to have these.
Yeah.
I have
So
to have them, and I have the originals in my fucking crawl space of all these. Like I literally have the original Kenner figures.
wow. Maybe you do. Maybe you have to get them, and then you do like a side-by-side shoot comparison.
There you
Like-
go. Look,
like-
there you go. Nick's finding more work for me to do. You motherfucker. I'm already struggling with collecting toys and taking toys because I'm a freak, and only freaks would worry about that type of stuff. But it is weird. I know we sit here and make fun of them, but every time I look at them, there's a part of me going, they're charming ass little things though.
Oh yeah, dude! This
Just-
is the first ever version of
Yes,
Star Wars toys
right.
anybody ever got. Like,
Yep.
So they
I
do.
think that's what it is. I mean, I don't know why they settled on these 6 for this wave, because I believe the original wave featured Kenobi, R2. That's who I mean, the Kenner R2 is fantastic.
yeah.
I mean, he had like a legit chrome head. He had the colored in the eyes or the sensors, and they were all wonky looking.
No, dude. I mean, this looks really fucking cool, and like I can see why there are people out there who would drop, like you'll probably end up getting this set $64, but like it pulls on the heartstrings. It takes you back to that time where, if you were alive in 77 and you went to go see A New Hope in the theaters, like this will pull you right back there.
Right. And as I said, those influence I talk about, it was a few months ago at this point now. They've had them for a while. 'Cause
Yeah,
they're
I remember.
pimps. But Plastic Action had a fantastic one where I believe he used the Luke and Leia to recreate the chasm swing.
I remember seeing that. Yes.
Yeah,
you did, yeah.
Work More or Less had a good one. They all had good ones. They're all fun, but it's funny to see these things from those guys because they still nail the shot. I mean, the production level is just out of this world, but we're talking about these figures.
Yeah, so you're getting like 4K resolution, beautiful
Right.
post-processing images.
It's all
of-
lit masterfully, staged perfectly, and the subject is basically guys that move at their shoulder socket, their hip sockets, and then their head turns.
And then for does Chewie's head even turn? I don't even think Chewie's
No,
head turns.
Chewie is literally locked in place just like that.
It's just all he's got is shoulder joint and then hip joint, and that's it.
Chewie loses 1 point of articulation.
Oh,
Yeah,
man.
he's just straight up 4 points. The other ones at least have 5 points.
Yeah, I mean, so this is some really fun stuff. If you're a good like long-term fan of Star Wars, you grew up with it in the 70s and 80s, these could definitely be something that you would be interested in. So they're up for pre-order now on entertainmentearth.com, so you can go there. It's linked in the post on starwarstime.net, so you can click it, take you right there for your pre-order. And I'd like to see, like, once these kind of hit the wild, I want to see what the community does. I mean, because that's always the most interesting part for me when new figures release, is to see how the community brings them into their photography.
Oh,
And like
if
you
I
said-
get these, I'm definitely using fireworks just because they're not meant for fireworks.
Oh,
but
yeah.
that's why I want to use them.
Dude, I mean, it's almost necessary. Like, I want to see what Sir Dork does with this, because Sir
Right.
Dork is like, he's the master of
He'll
these
definitely
firework
blow
action
something
shows.
up or fucking dump kerosene on him or jet fuel. You never know what that fucker. I mean, that guy literally uses a blowtorch. I'm not
Yeah.
kidding. Like, it is a blowtorch. That is fucking legit.
Yeah,
I use like some bullshit Bic lighter to do my fireworks. No, Jared literally brings a blowtorch with him as if he's gonna start welding something.
And I mean, we've seen them all. We've seen Sir Dork stuff. He's been on the top 5 multiple times, and of course he's one of our biggest fans. We appreciate him. So Jared, if you're listening, if you get your hands on these Kenner reproduction
Yeah,
figures,
blow them up.
blow 'em up.
Drink some energy fuel. Fucking blow them up with some kerosene and let us see the shots. And definitely record a video.
I'm very interested to see where those go. So yeah, I mean, this is some fun stuff. But like you said, Matt, it's been kind of a light week, and now we've managed to riff for 30 minutes on basically nothing.
Bullshit. I mean, though, if you want to like make an analogy to let's say we are like a sports talk show, this really is a point in the year Where in any medium, any industry, it's just kind of blah because people are, wanting to relax. Or most people are taking their vacations during this time of year. So it's not us. We're trying. But, I mean, think about sport. There's literally no sports to even talk about outside of fucking baseball.
It's like this period of time for Star Wars is like mid-March for football, for NFL. Because, like, the big game's already over. And then your draft's not for another month, and literally nothing is happening.
Right. I do think we'll have some concrete stuff come August because of how Disney moved D23.
Yep.
They didn't do really shit for it at SDCC. So I do think, if anything, if it's going to follow TLJ's promotional rollout, maybe we'll get kind of the 2 to 3 minute featurette where we get some B-roll, stylized B-roll, maybe some cast crew interviews, but not necessarily a trailer.
Yeah. I mean, if we want to talk about bullshit news that was out there, if you search Star Wars news today on July 29th.
This is just to make fun of fucking idiots.
This is purely what I'm doing, is to make fun of people. So one of the top Star Wars news pieces today, July 29th, 2019, was a piece out of Esquire that tries to point out a revelation about Rey's origins, this huge reveal, and they cited some image on Reddit that gives like a breakdown of her history. I think it might be from the Visual Dictionary.
God, this is so dumb. Like, it just gets me angry to think how dumb it is.
So this piece goes on to say, in this bulleted list that talks about Rey's history, that the first piece says abandoned, and that she was abandoned on Jakku, and they treated this like the biggest revelation that they've ever seen about Rey. That she was she wasn't born on Jakku. That's not her home planet. She was abandoned there.
Oh my God! Thank you, Lord, for sites like Esquire and this Matt Miller guy to open our eyes to these little secret nuggets. I mean, we're talking a Mike Zero level reveal right there. I mean, did you understand what Nick just said? Esquire, via its great SEO, was the only site showing new Star Wars news today for a post telling us that Rey was not born on Jakku. My 3-year-old daughter could tell you Rey is not born on Jakku without reading that Esquire post. Anyone could. I mean, if you watch fucking The Force Awakens, you know Rey is not born on Jakku. I mean, the whole crux of the character of Rey is, I need to get back to Jakku because I'm waiting for the people that dropped me off here to come back. Like,
yes.
What are we talking about now? Is this what we get into? Is this what we do? I was showing Nick earlier this Mike Zero character on YouTube. This motherfucking guy in the past 2 days has put out probably 12 videos all saying the same stupid bullshit. It's just it's clickbait nonsense vomit. It's like, come on, people.
Yeah, he made 12 videos about literally nothing.
It's just a shocking scene, super spoiler, Luke's mom, Qui-Gon's brother. Like, I'm not kidding. This is the type of shit thrown out there. I mean, is this what you guys look for throughout the day? I mean, are you going to click on that type of stuff? Because Nick and I will start doing more of it. I mean, I can surely, once I shut down Entertainment Boot, I can surely start dedicating time to just sitting here going, okay, today I'm going to just say, yep, fuck it. Palpatine scene leaked, revealed, blah, video, go.
I mean, we could
thumbnail,
bullshit
go.
with the best of them if we really need to, but we try to bring actual content to the cast and make sure that you guys are informed on what's real and what's out there.
I love speculating. I love postulating, but I love doing it based on actual truth and then letting my imagination go wild. I see no value in just making shit up and clickbaiting the motherfucking title.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, but that's what the lemmings in this world want, man. All you gotta do is look at Mike Z. I mean, 174,000 subs. Every video is clearing at least 1,000 views. I don't get it. Like, if nothing ever comes true, why follow someone like that? Like, what are we talking about? I mean, again, back to the sports talk thing. This shit happens all the time. They're like, oh yeah, I this rumor told me he's about 40% sure he's going to the Lakers. It's like, there's no accountability for that type of reporting.
Yeah,
Like,
Yeah.
okay, if it doesn't happen, you'd be like, well, I told you it was 40%.
It was only 40%. So, I mean,
fuck off.
I mean, if we had the time to put out a video about every possible thing that could happen in Tross and then say, leak, Ray's parents are fucking
It's
this,
like he capitalizes certain words like leak, Snoke, fight.
Yeah.
I mean, you almost just have to read his titles and they'll make you yell based on how they're the grammar and the punctuation.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. But
anyways, whatever.
Like we said, it was a light week, so we gave you what was out there. It will all be linked in the podcast post. A couple of things for you to pre-order if you're a collector. We got the new Myths and Fables book. We got the new Kenner reproduction figures from Hasbro. So if you want those, you can pick those up.
Yeah, don't forget, we are a fully fledged podcast outfit here. We're not just on Instagram. I mean, we got all the socials and IG. That's definitely our community. But I mean, we have a functioning website, StarWarsTime.net, that I try to throw up anything relevant of substance at least throughout the week. So don't forget to hit that URL throughout the week. If you're looking at Instagram, you're like, oh hey, it's a Star Wars Time Show, guys. That's your cue to get your ass over to StarWarsTime.net too.
Yeah, they got some good stuff on there. And look, we see the podcast numbers coming up. We see the downloads creeping up. It feels good. We're feeling the love from the community.
Yeah.
So just
July's good stuff. July made me feel good. Probably the best I felt in a long time about what Nick and I are doing here. And we did less casts, we did less wheel greasing, yet the number went up. So I mean, that's a good sign. I mean, it means there's enough of you dummies out there that like listening to our moronic asses. So
that's right. That's right.
All right, buddy. So let's get into why we do what we do on the Monday show, and that is the top 5 Star Wars artist features of the week. I line them up. Nick knocks them down and then picks them up. So I've seen these now. I used to try not to see them when we do the Friday show, typically because I'd be drunk coming into it, and I could hardly work the internet anyways. But now I am clean, sober, ready to roll, and I have seen these, and they are good ones. So let's go ahead and get into this first shot.
Number 1 up on the top 5 this week, and like I say every week, these are in no particular order, is a brand new addition to the top 5 from Star Wars here, and it's a super fun shot from @Klywonizer, KLIWONIZER.
Klewanizer.
That's probably what it is. So
I don't even know, and this will make no sense, but when I see it, maybe it's because I'm watching TNG, I see Klingon.
That makes sense too. The KLI will do that in the anime.
Yeah, it makes sense if you're a retard. All right.
But what we have here is a shot of a shore trooper, yes. And he's like on a badass motorcycle.
Oh, he's on a Harley, and really what will help set this stage is it's the line of figure to me, and that's why I initially picked this shot. This is an egg attack shore trooper. So, Nick, these egg attack figures typically 70 to 100. They actually pose really well. They're all plastic. They're great looking figures. But I mean, they're, as you can see, their main allure is their chibi aesthetic, right?
Yeah,
kind of the bigger heads, smaller bodies. I have this one. I have a lot of the Star Wars egg attacks because of how they look. But what Klewanizer did here with the accessories, I mean, the fucking hoodie, the
hoodie.
Harley, the pose, I mean, the little dirt kicking up, the orange tone here.
Yeah.
This is just an aces shot on so many levels. I mean,
oh,
photography-wise, but also just the effort put into the accessories and the staging.
And it even looks like he's got a moisture evaporator back there in the background.
Exactly.
Shot. I mean, this is just excellent execution here by Klewanizer. I mean, this is so well executed. It's so fun. When I look at these egg attack figures, I almost think that they're kind of like better Funko Pops. They're like,
oh yeah, dude, that you nailed it. I mean, they're your $80 high-end Funko Pops with their bodies are a little more scaled to the head, but yeah, it's spot on. I mean, honestly, I want a stop motion show based on this version of these Star Wars characters.
Oh yeah, dude.
You know what I mean? Like, I almost feel like this guy could be my friend. Like, I want him right now, and I'm not on acid or anything, people. Like right now, I want him to just come wheeling down into the basement, pull up next to me, and say, "Oh, hey, Matt, how was your day?" Like that's what he looks like. He looks like he could be my little buddy.
Yeah. It's so badass. I mean, I just loved everything about it.
Like this little fucker's just
Wing wing. I could see, like if it's a TV show, this is the shot that like it's a like a single camera shot. He passes by the frame and then it pans over and you just kind of follow him as he drives into the sunset.
Just fantastic work. I mean, this is just one of the best egg attack shots I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's a beautiful picture here by Cleonizer. Well done. Moving on to number 2 on the list.
Oh my God! How about this fucking
I was
stuff?
about to say, this shot,
dude.
This is the best Kylo shot I've ever seen. Period. And this is
of a $20 fucking Kylo too. This is a
wow.
legit $20 6-inch tall Kylo Ren.
And it looks like a shot from the movie. So this is from at the Rocket Age, _rocket_age on Instagram. And the way that this shot just captures the essence of Kylo Ren is unlike anything I've seen before. So what he's probably trying to do here is capture maybe like the the pre lead in to the scene that we see in the Tross trailer where we see Kylo with his mask off running through this forest that's completely lit in red and just killing people left and right.
I mean, this could even be from TFA. I don't even know if he's doing a scene remake. This is just a badass portrait almost of Kylo Ren, and it's the tone, it's a mix of different light colors, it's the VFX, I'm assuming, added in on top of the practical effects, which I'm guessing is baking soda for the snow on the helmet, but it's just it's tone. I mean, this is, again, we've talked about before, I mean, this is a fine art piece. Hang it up, give me the fucking poster, let's frame it.
Yeah, I mean, everything about this shot just makes it stand out. Like the light source coming from the left side of the photo. I mean, it almost makes it seem like there's an explosion that just happened behind him. I mean, just all around the
he looks bad. I mean, the pose, while it's not action oriented, I mean, and I've said this before. I mean, the key in toy photography, a good shot is, are you feeling some sort of emotion coming from the subject? I mean, they don't have to be flying. They don't have to have fireworks going off behind them. And sometimes a portrait, that's my favorite way to shoot, can be the best type of picture to express emotion for an action figure. And that's what the Rocket Age has perfected here.
Yeah.
I mean, he just looks like an angsty motherfucker who is also a badass. I mean, a lot of people make fun of Kylo. He's not, I don't know, I guess he's supposed to be taking out Star Destroyers or something. It's not like we ever saw Darth Vader do anything that crazy. But whatever. We seem to rewrite history when we feel like it. But I mean, the dude literally in TLJ usurped his master.
Yeah. And then
this supposedly all-powerful Snoke guy, I mean, he basically conned his ass right in front of his face.
Yeah, it was beautiful, beautiful work done. But like one of the coolest things I've ever seen anybody do in a Star Wars movie is what Kylo did in the beginning of TFA, stopping that blaster bolt fucking flight. Like, I never even thought that like, it never even crossed my mind that would be possible. Like, it's not a physical projectile.
I mean, his grandpa just let it fucking hit his dummy hand. He's like, yeah, whatever. It's just a robot hand. Bink.
Yeah. No, this dude turns around, stops it in midair, and then also freezes Poe Dameron in his tracks.
Well, I mean, dude, the entire time he's using the Force on this, that, and the other thing, that bolt does not continue its forward trajectory until he gets back on his command shuttle.
Yeah, it's fucking insanely cool.
How strong his Force aura is.
Yeah, the guy is a bad motherfucker.
And that's what Rocket Age to me has captured in this shot. It is badass. I mean, you look at this and you go, if you knew nothing about Star Wars, you would go, that is a bad motherfucker.
Yep. Perfect representation of Kylo Ren. Well done. The Rocket Age on Instagram. Well done, sir.
Here we go.
So moving on. So we have a couple of returning members to the top 5 coming up here. First one being Work More or Less, one of Matt's
Good old
Good
Jason
buddies.
Yang. He's part of the C3P Bros. And I think I threw up Spencer's from last week because the guys, their subject was the Sith Trooper exclusive that the motherfuckers got at SDCC because Hasbro loves them. But, good for them. I'm just being a hater. But, yeah, man. So Jason threw up his version of the Sith Trooper shot. And it looks like he borrowed Spencer's and Zay's Sith Trooper to complete it. But what I liked about this, especially if you know work more or less, he's more of an in-studio shooter. He's a guy that Digirama master. So I always like when he does some outdoor photography just because he brings his indoor eye and his designer eye to the outside where sometimes you got to work with what you're given and don't quite have the tech to maybe make things easier. I'm not saying indoor shooting is easier than outdoor. They both have their challenges, but outdoor sometimes you're like, well, it'd be really nice if I had this color light, but the sun's only giving me this. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
And I think Jason did a fantastic job with the outdoor work in this Sith Trooper shot. Plus, Nick, it shows us how badass this version of a Trooper looks.
That's what I was going to say is we really get to see the figure in a really good light, like you said, in outdoor light, and show off what we can expect to see in Tross with the Sith Troopers. I mean, and then, like you said, borrowing the other two figures from the other C3P bros, from Zay and from Spencer, like it's really cool to see them almost in like a squad formation. I mean, you barely see the one that's off screen a little bit in the front, but then you have the one that's in the it's in the foreground to the figure that's the primary focus. And I just think that it's a cool setup all around. I mean, I'm a big fan of
best Trooper shot is a Trooper shot with friends. I mean,
yeah.
Always in toy photography, it's nice to have elements in the foreground, background to just make it feel more dynamic and alive. But whenever you do a Trooper shot, you got to have at least 2 or 3 in there.
Oh yeah,
I mean, two's like the minimum. 3 getting better. 4, there we go. 5, 6. Now we're getting crazy. I mean, that's like Papa Palpatine. Sometimes he'll have a bunch of them in there. I mean, that's really when the staging comes into play. And, obviously Work More or Less did a great job staging here. I love that this figure's badass, and it just makes me wish I had one.
Absolutely.
It actually is kind of making me really sad. So thanks for the FOMO, Jason. Thanks for the FOMO.
All right. To save Matt from any more FOMO, we're going to move on to another returning top 5 member.
This just increases my FOMO because it gives me a fear of always never creating great shots like this.
I mean, this is from our number 1 fan, dubbed by Matt himself. This is from Everything Kylo.
He's still the title holder?
Is he
I'd say so. I mean,
is he one? And then
he sent me the Disney Parks exclusive, so I now have the Hondo and the Mountain Trooper, wherever the fuck he is. So
beautiful.
Yeah. I'll keep him up there. He's definitely still number 1 fan.
1A and 1B are Everything Kylo and Sir Dork. They're our 2 biggest biggest fans. We appreciate all the love that they give us. And
honestly, the next T-shirt or logo redesign, we may just throw them in there. Even
yeah,
though
we may change
they're not
the
part
faces.
of the show. We may just put them on the logo.
Yeah, we'll change the faces on the chibis that we have now on the website. So one is me and one's Matt. We'll just switch them out. We'll have Everything Kylo on Matt since he's the Sith, and then we'll throw Sir Dork on my face, and there we go. We just rebrand the whole deal. Specialized stuff for these guys, but this shot
we're not afraid to cater towards it to our fans, especially those who hook us up. So, yeah, we are that type of people. We scratch, they scratch, we all have a good time.
Oh yeah, but getting to the shot that
right.
Everything Kylo has put
in
together
all seriousness, though, I mean, it's a fucking fantastic shot.
Yeah, this shot is incredible. So basically, now tell me if I'm wrong here, Matt, because what Everything's trying to do here is trying to put together a shot of the Mandalorian, the main character that we're going to see in the new Disney Plus TV show that's coming out.
I believe it's still
Django.
Yep. But he's doing a tribute to Venomous, who's an artist we've talked about on the top 5. He's another one that I could literally share at least one shot a week. I mean, he's the one that does those really violent line work and color splashing. So I think Eli created painting or an illustration of Django in this pose, and then Jesse remade it with a figure.
Yeah, I mean, the way that this figure looks is so fucking cool. Like, I never thought that Jango Fett could look this badass. One, because Jango Fett was, unceremoniously killed in episode 2. And then also, like, everybody always focuses on his son. It's always about Boba. We've never really seen Jango in a badass manner like we have seen with this shot from Everything Kylo. I mean, everything about this is so good. Everything, like the staging, the pose, the lighting.
The pose is what does it for me. I mean, I can't tell you how hard it is to get these little cocksuckers, these little plastic bastards, to bend their arms to hold guns like that, to actually get it up to eye level. I mean, that's a miracle in and of itself.
Yeah. So
half the time that those joints do not want to bend that way.
It's crazy. So I found the shot on Venomous's page. I'm going to link it to you, Matt, so you can look at it that Jesse's recreating here. And it's like, so Venomous was going for the Mandalorian from the show. And basically Jesse took what he could to recreate it, because obviously we don't have an official Mandalorian figure. So he used Django as his primary.
And look at Jesse's ass in the comments 7 weeks ago. He marked his territory right there.
Yep, so bad.
Said definitely need to recreate.
Yeah, and there we go. 7 weeks later, we come out with this shot, and I mean, it looks just fucking like it. Obviously, he has to make some compromises because he's got to work with figures that are available. Right. But like everything from the cape, the motion of the cape, the pose, how he's holding the gun, how the gun's positioned on his shoulder. I mean, this is just top-notch work.
Man, I hope it does. I hope we do get a actual Mando Black Series figure.
Yeah.
Like the Pedro Pascal, like the official one, the silver or the gunmetal helmet. Because Jesse has shown us how badass Mandalorian armor can look when posed perfectly. I mean, yeah, look at that shit. He's still got his trademark VFX going on in there, but this one really is. It's about the pose.
Yeah.
It's all about the pose.
Beautiful stuff
and the
here.
Framing's money, too. Like having his head right up there in your top third of the rule of thirds. Fantastic.
Yeah, so...
You're a damn pro, Jesse, and you're a good man and a good Star Wars geek and a loyal Star Wars Time acolyte.
Thank you, sir.
We speak your name.
All right, so moving on to the last one.
Oh, yeah, these were fun.
This is a very fun shot here by Erimberol. Erimberol? What? That's ERIMBIROL on Instagram. And this is basically what I call like the dream Raylo shot. So everybody out there who's going into Tross and they're like, Raylo, we want it to happen. We want Raylo. We need it. This is the shot for you. We basically see a dance scene brought to life with a Kylo unmasked action figure and a Jedi training Rey action figure.
Yeah, these are figure arts, people, so they have the really nice, the really well done face sculpts and all that fun stuff.
Yeah, so I just thought that this was super fun.
It is.
Playing off of these two characters, where a lot of the fan base wants to see them go. And then the way that it's done, I mean, like, it literally looks like they're in, like, Footloose or some fucking dance movie.
Oh, yeah. They're, like, on Dancing with the Stars doing the final dance or something. I mean, I love the lighting in here. I mean, I'm sure some of it's artificial, but I just, as Nick said, it looks like they're on a stage, they're performing, the glitz, the glam, it's all going off, camera flashes. He actually did a series. I mean, he's got one of Han and Leia. The one after this one of just Rey sitting there, I mean, I'm not going to lie. I mean, I find it somewhat sexy.
Oh, yeah, I'm looking at it. It's just Rey and
like
BB
that pose. It's like, man, I kind of feel like I should go smash my wiener in the door or something. Because there's like porgs in the shot too, and BB-8.
Yeah,
but
BB-8's back there.
She's got a sassy ass pose there. I don't know. I do like the series. I'm glad I settled on the one, and you picked the one of Rey and Kylo. But
yeah, it's a solid overall shot. Now, Matt, what happens if this is the mind-blowing final scene. What happens if we go into Tross, we watch
They
the
get
movie
in a
for 3 hours?
dance-a-thon, like a
Yeah.
dance competition?
Yeah, the last 15 minutes, we're in the seats, we're watching it for 3 hours. The last 10 minutes of the movie is a dance battle or like a dance marathon with Kylo and Rey.
I might finally jump on okay, maybe Disney doesn't know what the fuck's going on bandwagon.
That would be very interesting.
Like, I mean, save it for the Blu-ray or something, like,
Yeah.
just something fun, like the bloopers. But no, I mean, come on.
We've seen, like, I know that there's some GIFs out there and some videos. I think it might have been in one of the behind-the-scenes documentaries on either TLJ or TFA where there is, like you can see Daisy, like, dancing, and she's in her Rey outfit, and, they definitely like to have fun on the set.
I agree. I think everyone does but Adam Driver. I have a feeling like that guy is all fucking business on set.
Yeah, I would like to see him, like, get in there, though, because it does, like, every time you see something from the set and it's, like, people having fun, it's always Daisy, John, and Oscar.
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I think he's one of those actors that he may even be method.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, is thus far in the series, if you think about how Kylo has interacted with the other characters, he's really only ever interacted with 2 other main characters directly, and that's Snoke and Rey. So he's never even had the opportunity. Well, I guess Poe
he
in the very
interrogates
beginning.
Poe
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah, so Poe in the very beginning of TFA.
And then Finn, he basically looks at.
Yeah, he like side looks at him in TLJ.
Well,
so.
then he fights him in Force Awakens, so.
Yeah.
I mean, he interacts with the big 3. I mean, the main characters, just like he's the main bad guy, so.
Yeah. So, I mean, it's just, he does, I guess there's like, he hasn't had a lot of opportunity to be with all of them at one time. So maybe I'd like to see
he likes his time
more.
with the big 3 to be one-on-one.
Yeah, one-on-ones. Sure. Yeah. So
he's a pussy, emo, loser.
Because Vader, remember when Vader fought every Jedi that was alive that one time?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
everybody remembers that.
It was in the behind the scenes on A New Hope.
Yeah, but I love this shot. I thought it was super fun, and it's just a change of pace from some of the stuff that we're used to seeing on the top 5. I mean, I love being able to put stuff like this in there. Also, mashups, crossovers, anything like that where we can kind of look at Star Wars outside of.
I just gave him a live follow. Sometimes, I don't know, ever since we started SWT, I get my streams crossed, like who I'm following on which account.
Yeah. There you go.
There you go, Aaron Byrol.
Got yourself another follow.
You just got a Haywood pop on your ass. It's
there you
go. Like having fleas.
He's
got some really great shit in here.
I know.
Look at one of Rey doing like a Itchy Witchy cat's ass with Hermione.
Yeah.
And she shoots out a porg.
Dude, the one of Snoke and Kylo where that one's pretty cool. One of his more recent.
I like this guy's page. I like his mindset.
Yeah, he's got some super
good at lighting,
stuff.
good at special effects, and if the he is a she, we're sorry about that.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's hard to tell off the handles.
But
awesome stuff here from Aaron Birol.
Awesome. Yeah, well, that wraps up the top 5, and that brings us around to our home stretch, Matt.
Yeah, my friend. So, it's just one of those casts. You might have been going, hey, ho-hum, these guys are fucking boring. And you know what? I would not disagree with you. This definitely wasn't the most juicy of subjects to talk about, to dive in, to sink our teeth into. But we did what we did. I do think that Myths and Fables book, at least the art's going to look rad. And if you got a younger Star Wars fan, hook it up. StarWarsTime.net. Order that shit. The toys, verdict's still out if I'm going to waste my money on them. But I have an insane nostalgic bug for all things Star Wars, so I'll probably be getting them. But when it comes down to it, we love just talking about the community that has embraced us over these past few months, and those are our friends on Instagram, in particular Toy Photography and Star Wars Fan Art. So, you guys and girls, you know what to do. It's that time of the cast to get your happy asses over to StarWarsTime.net, and if you haven't done it yet, get yourself up there and subscribe to the podcast, top right or hamburger menu, depending on the device you're on. From there, all the platforms. You want to listen on Spotify? Guess what? We're on Spotify. iTunes? Hey, we're on iTunes too. And if you're an Android communist, we're on all Android platforms. So there's no excuse. And once you get on there, if you listen and we don't make your ears bleed, your eyes hurt, or your brain feel like it wants to jump out of your nose, we'd love a sub, a like, a rate, a review. It goes a long way for two space bums like us. All right, my friends, in between now and the next cast, may the force be with you always.